Oh, we've got some ice on the pond this morning. The goldfish look like they're doing all right, so this means they can take it. I detailed the build of this pond in a previous video, link in the video description. But I did this in early spring with the intention that this would not be filled through the winter, that I drain it, winterize it every year and just redo it. But then I saw the birds stopping to get a drink of water and I added fish into it. And I really don't want to start over with new fish in spring. So I thought, why not investigate and see what it will take to prevent this thing from freezing up in a central Wisconsin winter. So I'm going to try a few things, see if we can make enough of a difference to where this doesn't freeze solid and make fishcicles. The first thing I did is to make sure that I'm getting the maximum flow out of my waterfall. This is the assembly I use from Papa Soap, and it has basically a waterfall tray with a filter pump assembly. So one thing that happens over time is the filter media obviously gets dirty. I noticed the flow was a little bit on the low side here. So I cleaned all the filter media, reinstalled it. And the flow did increase significantly, probably doubled the flow out of the waterfall. It's Thanksgiving, it's 28 degrees out, and I think we're gonna have to add a heater to our pond. I knew we were going to, but with the increased flow, at least we've got some open area. If this is the worst it got, I think it's great. The fish are gonna do fine. But it's only 28 degrees, so obviously this is gonna get a lot worse. So we need some source of heat. Keep this open. Okay, last night was in the teens. Clearly we got to do something different. Here's the heater I went with. It's a stock tank de-icer. There are a bunch of pond specific heaters. They look like rocks, things like that, on Amazon. But I got this at my local farm store. It seems a lot more heavy duty. It's $40, so about the same price as those other ones, and I think it'll last longer. We'll see. There's more metal construction to it, and it's 1250 watts, which is a little bit concerning. I don't want this thing to cost like hundreds of dollars a month to try to heat this up. But the kind of nice thing about these is they have a thermostat right in here, so it's just going to keep it above freezing. It's not going to try to heat this entire thing up to 50 degrees or something like that. Very simple design. This can be either submersible or float. So this blue thing on top is a float. Piece of plastic with foam in it. So if you take this off, it'll sink down to the bottom. If you leave it on, it'll just keep the top layer warm. I'm going to use it as a float. The very odd and unique thing about water is normally the cold water's at the bottom. You know this from swimming. You jump in, the deeper you go, the colder it gets, until water gets close to freezing. Then it has this unique thing with hydrogen bonds. Once those molecules slow down enough, hydrogen bonds start to take over and they actually spread the molecules out further than the liquid form. That's why ice is less dense and it floats. So the coldest water's generally on the bottom until it gets to about freezing, and those molecules slow down enough for those hydrogen bonds to start set up, and then they come to the surface. So if we're heating the surface and just preventing those hydrogen bonds from setting up, we'll prevent the ice. Well, that's all there is to it. Come back and check on it, see if it works its magic.
As I was waiting for the heater to work, I became impatient. I couldn't stand all these oak leaves that blew into the pond and then froze in place, so I'm trying to help it out here by breaking up the existing ice. So then I can use my net to get all these leaves out of here.
All right, I got down in the teens last night. We're supposed to get a big snowstorm today, but we can see our pond is pretty open. So our heater is doing its job. We had our first real snowfall of the year. It's currently 6 degrees out. And our heater's doing great. Our pond is pretty much 100% open. This does give a neat look with the snow around it, but flowing water. Our fish are doing well. So I'm gonna call this mission successful, this heater. We'll keep this open over winter. We get air temperature wise down to about minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. We might get ice around the edges there, but normally that doesn't last long, so I think we'll be just fine. It is gonna cost some electricity, but to me it's worth it. If you found this interesting at all, please consider subscribing to my channel. It's completely free and helps me out. Thanks for watching. Adios.